Okay, this looks horrible.
It's perfect.
It's it's
It's
it's
exact. It's
it,
exactly the quality the show deserves.
that. Yeah, I mean that's a point that's hard to argue with. So, hello and welcome everybody to the Awkward Cast, where Ayn Wye and Keyframe wonder about random drivel and about this phenomenally placed poster.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Just Us, everyone's favorite format for Awkward Cast, where there's no guest to mitigate our bullshit.
The OG format.
The OG format,
I
yes.
remember in when did we even start this? We are now in season 8, so I would say 2016.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
but
where I
yeah,
had to fight about the idea of bringing a third person on.
yeah,
Then we
you
did it
did.
for some specials. Then in the second year, we actually made it an ongoing thing. And now we came full circle and we're like, sometimes it's just nice to not have to bother. Just.
Sometimes it's just us. It's almost like we're good at talking to each other. That's why we started the show.
It's true.
Like, wow.
Mm-mm.
I do love looking at the Discord. I do love that Myth Pony said this post wasn't brought to me by Carl. I'm suspicious.
I know.
Our favorite turtle that we bully in your Discord server.
I mean, Carl had it coming. It's so fascinating. So for everybody who is watching this and is not in my Discord, first of all, wow, I'm actually impressed that you found this show.
Yeah, like, is this the organic growth from Blue Sky? Is people just finding like an announcement and being like, "What's this awkward thing?"
But yeah, point being that we have a bot who's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to tell people when. What is it even based on? Odie, I believe you are in the chat. What is the bot based on? That there is any upload on my channel, which is basically not happening outside of awkward, so I wouldn't be able to tell the difference if it happens for every video or just for every go live. But yeah, the problem is when you schedule. Yeah, Carl. Is Carl triggering for anything going live on my channel? Yeah, each time you upload. So we wouldn't be able to tell the difference since there have not been any uploads outside of awkward going live in. I don't even want to check. This will make me depressed.
Hey, Charlie. Does is Carl also the bot that you had for a while that because for some reason you made a goddamn channel in my server to put up something every time I fucking tweet, which is the worst idea for a channel on the planet.
I don't know. I found it okay. On mine.
You muted it. Like,
Yeah, of course I muted it for myself and I also muted yours in yours, but it's like if you have here's the thing for people who follow hundreds or thousands of people on any of those feed social media, they will have, especially since the media usually actively fight against you just seeing everything chronologically. I mean, they have active algorithms with the entire For You pages. Where it's like, I tried it a few times just out of curiosity. It's like, yeah, let's not go there. But
yeah.
point being,
Anyways, let's not make the entire show us ranting about
yes.
social
So
media.
yeah. But
My little dog cup does not appreciate it.
I
Because
see.
yes, it's after October. I'm finally justified to drink out of holiday things. Because he's wearing a Christmas scarf and Christmas lights.
Okay.
Yeah. He's it's him and my Christmas Pikachu mug that is not here because I actually put my mugs in the sink like a
Does this mean I
civilized
have to
person.
take the Halloween kitty down?
I mean, you don't have to. Not gonna. If people don't bully me for keeping my Christmas decorations up into January and February, I can't bully people for keeping their Halloween stuff up past October.
Yeah. I mean,
It it,
or
it
as we did it over here, we got Kevin for Halloween, which for anybody
mm-hmm.
not in the know is the name of the plastic skeleton that became our roommate over here. And yeah, we put Kevin. We had a recliner chair in the garden. We put Kevin on it with a pumpkin and a spooky
I love Kevin.
glass and put him out there for Halloween. And then Halloween was over and we were like, oh, we have one of those Christmas hats. Halloween stuff away, Christmas hat on Kevin. Kevin remains there. Oh, it's Easter. Hey, we found this €2 Easter bunny ear head.
Yeah, bunny ears.
Yeah, that's not bunny ears, but it's actually fluffy head. So we were like, oh yeah, that's wearing it's still cool. So put a scarf on having and put this hat on. So
I think my favorite Kevin accessory is, and this is mostly because of the story, was last day of us in New York when we were going there for my birthday, and this is the first time of some of my family meeting Max, and my aunt was just like, we're gonna go shopping. I need to buy you things, which is like, now everyone knows where I get it from. I basically, and like we were at like a Michael's, and she was like, Dad, do you want anything, Max? And Max is just kind of standing there like, no, not really. Being polite. And then and then it was like, well, there's these St. Patrick's Day hats.
Oh,
you can get one for Kevin. And she's like, who's Kevin? And we trying to explain
the concept of a plastic skeleton that permanently lives in the garden.
Yes, to a very like well-meaning but doesn't get this type of humor elderly person.
And I would do it again.
It's just really, it was just really funny. But it is a good hat. It is a good hat to put on him.
It's true.
But that one's one of my favorites. But the best part about Kevin is just, it's how I know I'm going to the right apartment when I walk over there, because I'm like, everything looks the same around where Max lives. Not to dox him, but every building looks the same. And sometimes when you're really tired in the morning, you're like, did I walk to the right place, or am I walking into someone else's yard?
I mean, I was about to say.
Then I just have to peek over, and I see a skeleton. It's like, okay, I'm in the right place.
I mean, that's what you get for sneaking up from the back. But then again, in the front, you have not even Kevin to identify the correct building.
Exactly. I have to remember numbers, and that's its own arduous task. Oh, man. But speaking of numbers, so like we were watching like because okay, it is no surprise that I do not believe in astrology and zodiacs and stuff. We actively make fun of Lauren for believing in crystals and things. I do not believe them in the slightest. However, I find them very funny. So, occasionally if I'm in calls with people, I tend to look up blank as zodiac signs, or zodiac signs as blank, because it's fun to see what arbitrary clips and traits do people associate this. It's the same like concept as like fortune cookies and stuff, right? Where it's so vague that you're like, okay, it has horoscopes. It's like horoscopes.
Yeah.
And we found one that was Jenna Marbles' dogs as zodiac signs. And my favorite thing was, I'm a Pisces. I'm a fish person. Every single Pisces clip was Kermit crying. What does that mean? Like, what? It was the thing of like, literally it opened up with a clip of Julian asking Kermit, why'd you wake us up with crying this morning? Why'd you wake us up with crying? And it just says Pisces over Kermit's little bicycle face. And it's like, I didn't enter this to get called out. I entered this to call out other people. I entered this to laugh every time I see them put out Virgos, and it's always everyone being like really like particular and hating mess. Like, you know, because every Virgo I know at least shares that trait. I don't believe in zodiacs, but it is a weird coincidence that every Virgo I know is very left-brained.
That's a weird thing that I try to come up with a scientific explanation how they can still work, because you find certain through lines. which don't make sense if it's all just cosmic waves or something.
Yeah, it's all star alignments and constellations.
Yeah, which is bullshit. For obvious reasons. I mean, there's this beautiful Calvin and Hobbes sketch, like, oh yeah, when Calvin is for some reason suddenly into horoscopes, and Hobbes is like, oh, you are into it, and he's like, oh yeah, it just makes complete and utter sense. It's so logical that all our fortunes and misfortunes and whatnot are controlled by bolts of gas burning up millions and millions of miles away, like. Yeah, but you couldn't have put... And Kelvin is ironically serious in this moment, while at the same time, pointing out the bullshit of it. But no, so my best guess is, my desperate attempt to find a scientific explanation, which is easily enough verified or disproven. All I need is to find a person on the southern hemisphere to confirm or deny. So... that the circumstances, like, we all know that, especially as a newborn baby, you are super you are a black hole, or a completely
You're a
blank
sponge.
sheet. You're a sponge for everything. So that the impressions of your environment in the first couple of weeks are like exponentially stronger than anything that comes later, just because you are the sponge thing, or the first months or whatever. So that the climate and environment and whatnot around you may, or maybe the social behaviors related to it, cause some kind of developmental changes that are specific to being born in this period of time. Now, all I need is one person from the southern hemisphere to confirm if anybody who is born in the same site.
We need to ask Cloud Cuckoo Country.
I know.
Or Dylan.
Are the zodiacs down under where you live? Do they all have the same connotations as up here while being in the same time period? If the answer is yes, then yeah, my entire theory is bullshit.
It's just really funny because I like to look up this stuff. And
we have Bill Newton in the chat who was born down there.
Bill, what's your zodiac?
And can you and does your zodiac align with cliches?
I mean, like, if he tells it, because I just pulled up a zodiac set, because I have my laptop right down here, and here's the Sagittarius. Oh, so you're like the forgotten one, apparently,
or not, since southern hemisphere.
Yeah, no, like I get told anything and everything. No, it because like. Here's the other thing. There's also just a distinct possibility that I am, and I just know people who are textbook examples of the zodiacs, and everyone else is fucking normal. Because look, I pulled up fucking Pisces, which is what I am, and they say like strengths: compassionate, artistic, intuitive, musical. Yeah, I would argue I am all those things. Weaknesses: fearful, overly trusting, can be a victim or a martyr. Also, one of the weaknesses is just saying sad. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
The one thing that just seems like it is, there's nothing that the one I think everyone has one of those things where it's like I do not align. One is Pisces like being alone. No, I like alone time. If I was told that I'm alone the rest of my life, I would hate that. But so would any human ever. But like,
we are
also
bird animals.
The one thing I don't like about my zodiac is the fact that it's like greatest compatibility: Virgos and Tauruses. You and Lauren, great. Worst compatibility: Cancers, which is Brett. And I'm like, that. I mean, like,
that
also
explains why your flat life makes such a great comedy setup.
It really does. But you know what? The compatibility thing is always off, because I've also seen things that are like, oh, Virgos and Pisces will never get along because one is a fucking hippy dippy fish person and the other one is so left brain. And I'm like, And then you just see the opposite, where it's like, this is why they would get along, because it's the opposites, they complement. So, it's really up to the agenda of the person.
No.
But like, I know, crazy, right?
Horoscopes are up to interpretation.
Now I want to see. Now I want to look up Bill Newton's just to be like, see if it hits the ball on Mr. Bill. Okay, so let's see. Fire sign, already a good start. Bill's a very fiery person. Strengths: generous, idealistic, great sense of humor. Okay. Wow, this is so mean. The first weaknesses: promises more than they can deliver. Very impatient. Will say anything no matter how undiplomatic. I'm kind of grateful that mine was just sad.
But keep in mind, he's a southern hemisphere Sagittarius. Therefore, going by my completely scientific theory, this might actually not be the case for him.
Being called out. Sagittarius is like freedom, travel, philosophy, being outdoors. Sagittarius dislikes clingy people, being constrained, off-the-wall theories, and details. I never heard of someone who just dislikes the concept of details.
Okay. So, here now to figure out by the singular example of Bill Newton, which is good science, right? Having only a single one. Go in the zodiacs. Go 6 to the right or the left, whatever is the opposite one, which would technically, if the environmental theory is true, would be the equivalent of a northern hemisphere Sagittarius.
Okay.
So what is on the opposite end of the spectrum? Because that would be the correct one for the southern hemisphere.
All right, I'll do that, and then I want to read Virgos just so we can all be called out together. Excellent. Even though Bill's not even a guest on the podcast this week. Okay, so Sagittarius 6 forward would be 1. For fuck's sake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taurus. It would be a Taurus. Okay, so a Lauren.
Okay, does this fit more or less for him?
Okay, Taurus's Earth sign. Strengths: reliable, patient, practical, devoted, responsible, and stable.
Literally the opposite of Sagittarius, who was all like impatient, can't wait.
Weaknesses: stubborn, possessive, and uncompromising.
So, as somebody who knows Bill, what would you say describes him more?
No, he's more of a Sagittarius, man. Like, I'm sorry, your science does not work.
What? No.
I'm gonna call out the things for the Taurus likes and dislikes, though, since we're basically talking about Lauren. Taurus is like gardening, cooking, music, romance, high quality clothes, working with hands. Very specific things. Taurus's dislike: sudden changes, complications, insecurity of any kind, abstract concepts, and synthetic fabrics. It just is really weird to me that 3 of them were very abstract concepts.
And then something
and
very
also
specific.
I hate polyester. Like
very specific, yeah.
Okay. Now to just call you out so that way we could make this full circle.
I cannot believe that Charlie Otonoku is absolutely correct that these all fit for almost everyone on Earth. I know, that is why they work at all.
I know, but it's still fun to look at.
It is, absolutely.
Okay, but Virgo, which, by the way, Virgos get such a dull end of the stick because I haven't pointed out that this website also has, like, besides your, like, element, it also has, like, the color and, like, day that is associated with the zodiac. Virgo's colors, Virgo Earth sign, Virgo's colors: gray, beige, pale yellow.
Now I'm feeling called out with the originally gray backdrop of my channel.
Day: Wednesday. You're literally the middle of the week. And then greatest compatibility: Pisces, Tauruses. You got 4. You got Pisces, Tauruses, Cancers, and Libras. Okay, I guess everyone fucking likes you.
What can I say?
Personality traits. Okay. Strengths. Loyal, analytical, hardworking, and practical. I would say so. Okay, the first weakness is not you, because your first week, it says that the weakness is shyness. You are not a shy person. Worry.
Probably not.
And overly critical of self and others. I don't think the self part, but of others.
Me? No.
Okay, Virgos like animals, healthy food, books, nature, and cleanliness.
I mean, okay, books is probably because I am not a great reader. So that's why I probably
The concept
just
of
don't.
stories, I guess, also works.
But
there
I love
'cause you have
audiobooks, as Enigma can.
Yeah, it's a type of book. Virgos dislike rudeness, asking for help, and taking center stage. That is not correct. You will not hesitate to be center stage.
It's also almost like zodiacs often do not hit the spot.
I know, but there's a few of them that the ones that are you are very much you, and this is also one website. But like, it's still like when it has those few call out moments, like a fucking video of having every Pisces clip be Kermit crying.
Yeah.
It was very funny though. I was in a call with one of my friends who's a Leo, and the first clip that they had to talk about Leos was Jenna being like, "You got that, Marbles?" And Marbles is just standing there staring into space on the couch, and it pans back to her and she's like, "Honestly, it's like talking to a goldfish." And my friend was like, "Oh, the worst part is that she's right. I have the memory of one." And it's like, I mean, you said it, not me. I'm putting away the zodiac signs.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. It's fun, but dangerous.
Yeah. Wow.
Our Sagittarius is tidy or messy? I mean, given the impatience and everything, probably more messy. Hi, question for you guys. Have you ever seen a show called Has-Been Hotel?
This rings a bell. This rings a bell. This is this animated show on Amazon based on this thing of YouTube. Yeah, the Critical Role show. I know this.
Yeah. I love Has-Been Hotel. I love Matt Mercer's character, just going through all the orcs. It's
okay, now the
I
jokes.
don't know.
Now the joke's on you because Matt Mercer, as a DM, doesn't actually have a character in Vox Machina, but just voices every other background character.
But the big thing is that if someone doesn't know Vox Machina, it's like two truths and a lie. I have made it very clear to my friends that it's like, if you talk with enough confidence about something, you can make it seem like you watched it, even though you know nothing of it. I should know. I did that on panels multiple times where we talked about something and I just said things with pure confidence in my voice, and I didn't even watch the damn thing.
Oh yeah, I half of the time I dared you to do it. Also, Odie is just bullying me in chat.
Oh, what hold on, let me see. What's a has-been? Oh my god!
Yeah,
we just witnessed some murder.
It would be a lot funnier if I wouldn't commit the same suicide like 2 times a week. Then again, not really. Now here's how you recognize a real has-been. I have hit the stage where I'm not even pointing it out anymore because it's just like, it doesn't really come up.
Okay, I have to give Matthew a point because we were talking about Vox Machina and he was like, "Was that the one? Is that the one with Chuckles the clown?"
Close enough.
I want to be able to know just enough about Vox Machina, Dimension 20, and Legends of Evantris that I could just spin a whole narrative that is like combining all of them. So you're not exactly sure which one I'm talking about.
You know with the silly homicidal character, you need to narrow it down a little bit more.
You need
the silly demonic possession. Yeah, still not helping.
and like there's furry bait characters too.
That is just D&D.
It's like zodiac signs. It's kind of generalized. Oh my lord almighty. But like I've been saying that a lot more, of just Lord Almighty, which is very funny given that I'm agnostic.
I was about to say now, which Lord are you talking about?
I don't know.
Like
at this point, what, the singer? But like, it's just like there's something. As much as I do not know if I believe in the God, it is there's something really like saying "Oh my Lord" or "Christ Almighty" just has a good feeling to it. Like it's like I don't know. There's weight to it. It's like why saying "fuck" is such a good word. It's maybe it's consonants, like it's that kind of thing. But
I mean,
like,
you're talking to a German. We figured it out centuries ago.
Yes, I know. I've had a great time telling my friends, because I follow quite a few like German YouTubers and stuff, and they talk about like language things. And so I share those, and it's very great because it's not like I'm screen sharing the videos. I just send it to them and I can hear a little bit through their microphone. And then when they get to the part of like what the word actually is, or what the word sounds like when you say it out loud and you hear their reactions, one of the particular ones was a video that I did show like you and Denim, which is like, that one German word that I think means buddy or something. That sounds like a word you can't say in the United States.
Yeah, there was something. What was it? I probably shouldn't say it if I remember it, because it might still be misunderstood, but it's actually a completely fine word in German.
It is. And it's different by a letter. And luckily it's the first letter. Like, hold on, like
yeah.
See, this is the type of reaction kind of when now imagine that with abject horror and you have the reaction my friends have sometimes. But yeah, it is very funny.
So the word is spelled Digger, and it is basically on the same level, buddy, dude. I will not say it because
because accents.
Because accents, and it will be gloriously misunderstood, but it basically sounds the same as what you think it sounds like, but it is definitely 100%, I swear, not.
Oh, Bill Newton has that word in Australia.
Oh, really? I mean,
cool.
Technically it also means a word in English if you look at it.
It does mean a word in English. As someone who digs, yes.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's
gold
just
diggers.
Yes, it just works. It was a nickname for soldiers in World War I. Fascinating.
Probably because they had to dig trenches.
Yes, digging trenches. Yes, that makes sense. But we've been bullshitting for quite a while. Have you been consuming any media?
I have. I mean, we
recently?
ended plenty of media on TV time this week. It was a massacre. But no, I actually binged. I'm currently chilling out. I have a flat to myself. So what do? I watch anime. It's a thing I do.
As you do.
As you do, I watch anime. So I binged an entire season, only 12 episodes, so not really that impressive, of a show.
Oh.
And yeah, of an anime show. And it's like...
Is this the bad one?
Probably. Because it wasn't good. Oh no, there's audio. Sorry for that. So...
it's this one that you mentioned to me.
Yes. It is... trash. It is so trashy. So the name is already glorious. It's Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, and it is just as gimmicky as the title makes it out to be. So we have this Russian girl. I don't even think she's supposed to be a hafu. She's just 100% supposed to be Russian, so Caucasian at the end of the day. But she looks identical to everybody else in the anime. There's no distinct way to tell her apart. And also, as somebody who knows a little bit of Japanese culture, I call bullshit. They are not really... I mean, they are fetishizing the exotic types, but at the end of the day, she would be a dirty gaijin. So... why did I hear an announcement out loud? What platform was this on?
How many of the 45 tabs that you have open just screamed at you?
I know, right? I believe I found it. It's Steam. Now I said it out loud, which means now I really need to go offline because otherwise other people will do the same thing.
I totally wasn't just opening Steam to say.
Is a way enough to suppress noises? That is the question.
I mean, I feel like most apps have a notification setting thing to turn off noises.
Probably.
I know that my Steam doesn't give me noises anymore, and I don't know what I changed.
Maybe you are away or something. Away should be fine, right? Away should.
I mean, in theory, Do Not Disturb is the thing that you activate to get rid of noise. Yeah.
Oh, do have one, yeah.
Now everyone test it to see if it works.
But so far I'm still on Away. But yeah, point being, Aya. So, Aya, first of all, a high school setting, which gets us to the usual, a romance comedy in high school, which brings the usual, the first primary question in, are those actual, like, teenagers we are voyeuristically observing in their shenanigans or not? And this show is 100% no. Those are barely human beings, let alone teenagers. The dialogue is so... I mean, maybe it's just the English dub. I watched it dub, so I don't need to be glued to the subtitles. Maybe it's just the dub, but oh wow, the writing and the delivery is so abnormal. No human talks like this. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Like, something where... maybe I should preemphasize with this show is trash. So this is a super trashy show. So this is not a great show go watch recommendation. That is a... if you need some 12 episodes of bullshit anime, it's not good.
I think the thing was, when you told me about this, like the title of it and everything in DMs, I was like, huh. And then I went to Watch Cartoon, and every time you go on Watch Cartoon, it recommended this fucking thing, which is never a good sign. Because I swear, every time that I see the front page of Watch Cartoon online, when we're legally watching shows, it always looks like trash.
But doesn't the front page actually just show the most recent uploads? So independent, there's no qualitative. It shows the most recent ones below it, but then it just gives a random anime recommendation on the top. Yeah.
That's how we found that one where it was like, this girl wants to fuck 100 people before they graduate.
I remember us noticing this one. Even though it just faded out. Darren Root basically played a little bit of 4D chess and was like, is there a Russian dub?
That would be amazing if there was.
But then again, I have seen enough movies since second favorite foreign language in American media besides Russian is probably German, unless we count British, but technically it's supposed to be the same language. I have had the phenomenon often enough where even to plot critical points, people speak German and they are not supposed to be understood by anybody in the movie, and then you watch an entire movie in German and it's like, and now they are speaking German, while there are different ways to approach it. Like either they flip the language and actually then have them talk in a foreign language, Or they just keep speaking the same language.
Gonna just let you just gonna let you vent about this.
Well, you also turned off your... Oh, no, okay, the audio is still there.
Welcome to That's Stupid. Foreign languages in shows, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, but here I can also... Why is there something behind you? Why did I put a furry photo behind you? This raises questions. Can I get this background out of here? Where does this even come from? I don't know where this background is coming from. Huh. So this is her. So why is the background PNG also called Chrissy? Why did I call this backdrop Chrissy? This is totally not confusing at all. Anyways, Alia. So it's a trashy one. The dialogue is just horrific. Like they are talking like so not like people, and the entire setup is like, you have this thing in the title, which is like, yeah, you have this Russian chick, Alia, who is outwardly a complete tsundere, like, I don't care, but then she always like basically is super flirty to the protagonist, the dude here in the background.
What happened to the furry convention or whatever that I was behind?
Do I need to bring it back? Okay, I just went through the struggle of removing it, but I can bring it back just a second.
What is it? Is it just a furry con?
I believe, didn't we have somebody who was like, oh, I'm in this picture right behind this person or something? Didn't we have a guest who pointed this out? And that's why I put it there? Something like it.
Maybe, I don't know, but either way, I'm back.
You are back, so I guess let me turn on the camera again. Blum, 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 blum. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, there was a package at my door.
Fair. But yeah, the premise is basically, she is super tsundere towards our protag dude, but basically then she turns away and is like, has still the same smug, condescending tsundere grin, but it's basically like, oh, you're so dreamy, like super like flirtatious. And he's like sitting next to her and giving a little bit of a voiceover like, yeah, the only thing is, I understand fluent Russian. So this is the entire gimmick. This is the premise of it. And throughout those, and it's, but he doesn't bring it forward because of course he's immediately like, okay, now it would be super awkward to reveal that I have been understanding her the entire time. So they just keep stringing this along, and it's also like, if he ever comes forward and they kind of have to, because if he ever comes forward and tells her, girl, I have been speaking Russian the entire time, or even if he comes up with a ploy and is like, you see, I because we are, I feel so drawn to you. I learned Russian, so I just now learned it. Even that they cannot technically do, because the moment he reveals that he understands her, the entire titular gimmick of the show is gone. So they kind of forced themselves by this stupid idea. This is the thing. This is an idea for a setup, but not for a premise. This is a starting point of a story, and not like...
And it doesn't get resolved within the 12 episodes.
No. The thing is, they are basically dating without dating by the end of it. So it's actually a show that has progress, nah? Where they're super close by the end of it. She still drops a little bit in and out of tsundere still, but they are super close friends. I believe they are openly flirting with each other, and yet she still does say... So they need to amp up what she says in Russian to still make the gimmick work. But yeah, at the end of the day, they are openly flirting and going on dates by the end of it without officially dating. And yet she still is like, she then makes her love confessions in Russian, and he's like, oh my god, she just confessed her love, and she's like, oh my god, I didn't actually mean it, but I said it. Like, what? Why? Because yeah, the title of the show is bullshit the moment they reveal it, unless both of them are in on a joke and she just keeps doing it to other people. It's like amazingly dumb. So this is just the premise of it. Then it's also a harem, because if you couldn't tell by the female to guy ratio,
Fucking Doki Doki Literature Club looking here.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Also, one of his harem is his little sister. And not a stepsister, a biological one. And they address it in the first episode. Yes! And in the first episode, his little sister is there reading a manga, which is exactly this kind of a manga. And he is like, it will probably be revealed in the second volume that they are actually not blood related. And she is like, they have to, otherwise it doesn't count. Oni-chan!
Why? Why does everything need to be infected with incest?
But it also needs to be kept a secret. Because they are both from a big line of very influential people, but he kind of dishonored his heritage, so he has to deny his relationship to her. And she is now basically the heiress of this empire. Therefore, everybody else thinks they are kind of infatuated, or why they are so close, because nobody's allowed to know that they are siblings. And again, keep in mind that keep in mind that all this super contrived bullshit comes with the circumstance that in the context of a horribly written show, as far as at the very least dubbed translated dialogue goes. Like, our protag dude is, for anybody who has watched Eminence in Shadow, which is a show which is like completely self-aware that it's bullshit and is completely leaning into it. He is trope savvy and constantly talks about how he would do that, and he even sometimes refers to himself as an NPC, pretending to be an NPC, so basically phrases that Eminence in Shadow uses. It's so dumb, it's so bad, it's I mean, due to the fact that it was short enough, I kept watching it, and I did something else on the side. I cannot recommend it as a watch it, give it your full attention kind of show. Because it's trash, but it's also fascinating trash.
I've never seen you smile so much while insulting something.
It's dumb. It's absolutely dumb. It's
You look like how I do when I talk to dogs. Be like, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. You don't know what's going on, do you?
Yeah. I believe I have not given much away beyond the first episode, except for the fact that, this
was just the first episode?
I mean, there is actually an ongoing plot. I mean, I kind of also gave away. Here's the thing. Okay, I gave away that they are basically super chummy by the end of the season. But it doesn't really matter, because the show starts. I mean, we have this phenomenon in recent anime where the protag is a plain dude, and for some reason the interesting girl falls for him. We have it in Dress Up Darling, we have it in Nagatoro, we have it in Komi Can't Communicate, but usually there is still an inciting incident where we understand why the interesting girl character gets drawn to him. Why they start spending time with each other. There's usually a reason for it, and but here the show starts. He is a slacker who just happens to sit next to her. Everything speaks towards her don't liking him, and her first line out of her mouth is like, you're such a lazy slacker, you played all night, you're gotchas. And then she turns around and in Russian points out how cute he is. And he's just sitting there like, what? And it never gets resolved when she fell for him. The show starts with her already crushing on him for no discernible reason. This is the starting point.
I don't want to give points to Miraculous Ladybug, but at least we found out when Marinette started crushing on Adrian.
Yeah, that's true. Like, but here, yeah, she literally should despise him. Throughout the season, he gets his shit together and becomes supportive, and you can understand why Shishin actually falls for him. But before the show starts, he is literally the embodiment of what she hates in people, what she had a traumatizing experience in elementary school about. He's literally the embodiment of that, and yet still, she already has a crush on him before it starts.
So many animes really feel like the female protag is hypnotized or brainwashed. I have a great anime for you that deconstructs that whole thing. Go watch Romantic Killer.
Ah, glorious.
That is the best best show if you just love seeing anime tropes get dunked on, while also just being a genuinely good show.
True. Wasn't there here further hype Blue Sky? Wasn't there stop everything you do and post a gif of your favorite anime train going through recently? And yeah, I posted Romantic Killer gif.
Romantic Killer is really. I'm very picky on animes, as my friends know. Whenever we're like, "What do we want to watch?" and I'm always not the anime choice picker. But I can't say that I have good taste, because my go-to anime is Undead Unluck, which I think is great.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's great. But because I'm so picky, I loved Romantic Killer. That one was great. Though I think my current favorite, at least of modern animes, is probably Delicious in Dungeon. Dungeon Meshi. Everyone gets mad when I call it by its actual fucking name. But like, no, Dungeon Meshi is probably my favorite of modern ones. I mean, my all-time favorite is I can't say Cowboy Bebop, because that is the most non-anime anime in the world. Probably Space Dandy.
How to say that you're actually not no? How to say that you're actually not into anime by naming your favorite anime? Cowboy Bebop.
I mean, here's the thing. I am into anime, but I don't like a lot of modern anime. Real talk, like full on. Like, I like a lot of classic anime. I grew up with a lot of 90s and early aughts in the terms of anime. I had VHSs that were brought overseas of anime episodes, and I had the experience. But like, I don't know, at a certain point, and I can't pinpoint when, sometime in the 2010s probably, anime just all started looking the same to me. And it felt like the stylistic part of anime that I really liked just kind of faded away, and everything feels very shiny and smooth. And I don't know. I don't like. I think I sent a rant to Max earlier this
about
week.
the Sailor Moon remake. And
I
was like, okay, if I take a word for it.
No, it's just the thing of like, 90s anime style to me is peak. I love those like flat colors and interesting camera angles, and you could see the grit of everything. I felt like everything had to feel more dynamic because they had less resource. And now every anime gets a pretty good budget, basically, at least for lighting and compositing, and everything is just shiny. And nothing feels alive anymore. Unless you're One Piece, Undead Unluck, or fucking My Hero Academia, I just don't see any like flair or style.
I mean, I see a lot of lens flare. Am I right?
Yeah, for one thing, I just feel like the top shot is just more readable. Like, why are they so far away from each other?
Yeah, I mean, the lower one.
If you know Uranus and Neptune, why are they so far from each other?
Because cousins need to take a proper distance to not create wrong ideas.
Look, even when I was a kid and the only exposure I had to Sailor Moon was the English dub, I looked at those two and I was like, they are way too close to be cousins. I don't look at my cousin like that. But like, also, who was the brain dead person to make the two walls behind the characters, the colors of their hair? I just realized.
Oh yeah, both of them basically.
They blend into the background, especially since they're lit so bright. And look, the top looks so interesting, and then the bottom's just like, here's a wide shot. And especially since, okay, let me put on my little nerd hat for a second. The context of the scene is that they have Galaxia bracelets on, which essentially brainwashes them to be evil. So, which shot, pray tell, looks more evil?
Okay, I see.
Also, the costume in the lower one is just really dumb. You see it more in the first picture, but it's really dumb looking. Why do they have like rubber bubble sleeves and shit? They're just ugly looking costumes. And I mean, like, there's ups and downs when it comes to the Sailor Senshi outfits. I have opinions on how over-designed Sailor Moon herself gets over the course of time. Stop adding colors. Why does she have wings now? She's the moon.
Are we still talking Sailor Moon? Or are we talking MLP? Stop it with all the colors. She has wings now.
I mean, basically. I mean, the Rainbow Power was just essentially the Sailor Moon R of MLP. At least it only happened for 2 collective minutes. But yeah, there was my little rant. But go watch Trash if you want. I'm not talking about Sailor Moon. I'm talking about this.
Yeah, it is trash. It is really trashy, like. But I guess the saving grace is that it doesn't take itself serious.
Yeah, that's always a positive. Let's see. Did we talk about Edge of Sleep on Awkward?
I don't think we did, because last Awkward has been a hot minute.
Okay.
Let me get some Edge of Sleep in here.
Yeah, I want to talk about Edge of Sleep, because that was such a...
Such a show.
Yeah, but I also think it got heightened by the fact that I think we started watching it right after we finished Uzumaki, a very disappointing show. But oh my god, Edge of Sleep, what a show! I don't think I've seen a show this atmospheric in a while. Like, you really like, God, I don't know how to describe it. It's such a unique show. And I mean that in like the best way possible. It isn't just Markiplier staying awake-a-thon. It is shot. I love that shot though. Hey, you're an extra. Don't move. But like, it's so well shot. It's so well done. The actors do a great job. Markiplier is the standout actor, though. Yeah. He can act.
He can.
And it's shocking how good of an actor he is. And it shouldn't be shocking, because this man is just, I guess, the most talented man in the universe. Singing, acting, looking that handsome, and owning a golden retriever. Like, you know, could they be more perfect? But it's like, you watch it, and as someone who's watched Markiplier since he started YouTube, there came a point very quickly in the show where I'm like, I don't see Markiplier. I see his character. And that's really impressive. I know that I'm not saying what the show is about, because I'm trying to figure out a good way to say it without spoilers. Like, what the elevator pitch of the show.
I guess the setup. I mean, the setup becomes clear very fast, right?
Yes. So
something
is making people die in their sleep, and it's like an epidemic.
So the moment you lie down and you rest your eyes, you're dead.
Well, not.
Yeah,
as
I mean,
soon.
not resting the eyes, but the moment
you sleep. If you're asleep for more than a couple minutes, you are dead.
Yeah, basically.
And it's not a violent death or anything. You look like you're asleep, which honestly is really fucking terrifying when you actually think about it and you see shots of just everyone just asleep looking normal. It's like, oh, fuck me sideways. This is actually a terrifying concept.
And it's also like it creates also, I mean, this can be said because it's about the atmosphere. That is something where usually when you have those kind of disasters, if you think Bird Box or something, what is usually the starting point? Chaos in the streets, people running, cars crashing. Here, because since everybody dies in their sleep and isn't aware of this happening,
everything is peaceful.
Yes.
Like, scarily peaceful. Because, no one's getting into car crashes and stuff. No one's sleeping behind the wheel because everyone just fell asleep at
they just went to bed.
Time. just went to bed or took a nap on a hammock. Like they just went to sleep. Like, and then enter Dave, who's played by Mark, who is like a violent insomniac because of
which turns him into a superhero in this particular context.
Basically, and his best friend, who is like an Air Force veteran, a nurse, and his ex-girlfriend, and they're basically like trying to figure out why is everyone dying in their sleep, and figuring out how to stop or survive, while all progressively succumbing to sleep deprivation. And every episode ends with how long they've been awake. Yeah. And they have the setup line of, after a certain amount of hours, you start going into psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just waiting for that to hit.
It's just a wild show. Like, great atmosphere, tiny cast, but
yeah, very condensed.
Yeah.
But they are all really good. Like, also kudos to either Mark or the makeup team. He looks like hot garbage during this entire show.
And we are talking about Markiplier. This man does not look bad ever.
This man crashed OnlyFans for charity. Like, you know, his tasteful nudes broke the internet. But he looks like garbage in this show for good reason. And everyone, like, everyone's just really good at progressively showing how fucked the sleep deprivation is, and the mystery and everything. I know everyone probably thinks that this show is going to be so esoteric that it's going to be one of those things where it's like, you know, it's deep, you gotta have a high IQ, man. But no, by the end, the mystery and everything actually has a pretty good follow through. There's a lot of abstract things in it, but because sleep, dreams, all these things have, you know, inherent abstract weird concepts, but it's all understandable, which is also a big achievement. The show is great, and the fact that they basically had they had to put it on Amazon because no studio streaming service would pick it up. So they had to put it on.
YouTuber made it. How can it be any good?
Yeah, because not even made it. He's in it, and he gave some money to it. But he's not it's not like Iron Lung where he actually wrote and directed. But because a YouTuber is in it, everyone was like, "Oh, it's nothing." So they had to put it on Amazon because Amazon has a self-publishing feature.
And even there, it's only in the US. So I had to watch it through a watch party with this one up there.
Hello. But it's so good. If there is a way for you to watch it, get a VPN or something, watch it. It is so good. I mean, at least it was in the top. I think it still is somewhere in the top 10 in the US. It is so good. It beat up Judge Judy. I'm very proud of that. But it's such a good show. And I expected it to be good, but I was shocked at just how good it is. So yeah, it is. I really recommend this one. This one is not trash, and no one speaks Russian in it.
Yeah, I guess nobody does speak Russian in it.
No,
but
no one speaks Russian in it.
If now you have one great recommendation and one absolute trash piece, so which one you watch first says a lot about you as a character.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, all we've really done is we started Invincible Fight Girl, which so far is very fun.
It's a very fun find all the Easter eggs in the background show.
But there's not enough of it yet to to talk about yet.
I mean, there is something that we can maybe mention that I find fascinating about the end of the most recent season of The Boys. Without going into
the
details.
Boys. Okay.
Without going into any details. I mean, first of all, there was this fun thing of halfway through the season or close to the end, Key was like, okay, let's for once have a season not end in a way where let the boys actually catch a breath, and don't have it end in a way where they feel even more screwed than before. And at the last few minutes, they did a turnaround and it was like, oh great, now everything is even more screwed than before. But no, what I found really fascinating is, like, for anybody who knows anything about The Boys show as an adaptation, they made it a very big thing that they took the very basic concept, like in individual plot points, at least from the beginning, of this awful comic book series, which is just a hate boner for superhero stories, and turn it into an actual meaningful, thought-out show with characters that go beyond, so far beyond anything in the comics. And they in the later seasons, it was more and more like they just introduced a character who was by name a character from the comic. But
I mean, some stuff isn't like spoilers. I feel like SB is not it is not a spoiler at this point, because that season's been out for over like 2 some years. Soldier.
Oh, Soldier Boy. Yeah, also complete reinvention of anything Soldier Boy related.
Yeah, so you know, they'll reference things like Soldier Boy, or the guy with the giant penis, or Herogasm.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. They brought.
But these things were mostly in name only.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, at this point we are not sure, but it almost looks like, and that in the current season, or in the recent season, they set up that the final season can emulate some of the iconic scenes from the end of the comic, and I'm like, why? You made such a big deal out of diverging.
Can we put on the spoiler thing? I have thoughts.
Okay, in a moment. Let me just finish the spoiler-free thoughts before we then go full spoilers.
Finish your spoiler-free thoughts, but God, this season gave me thoughts.
Yeah,
anyway, continue.
Because yeah. So, and now it seems like they are setting themselves up to get to a point where they can recreate the finale of the comic, where I'm like, why? How? I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of fascinating, because it's still The Boys Amazon show, which was really good for long. It started...
And there's parts of the season that still is real.
Oh yeah.
There's still parts of the season that are fantastic.
Their political commentary gets a little bit hand-fisted to a point where it's like, guys, don't talk down to us like this. We get it, okay? Don't replace a hate boner for superheroes from the comics with a hate boner for current day politics. This is supposed to be our escapism.
There was a warning in the last episode at the beginning, like an actual thing, being like, everything here is purely fictitious. We didn't base this off a real event.
Why did you then pick this particular date? You could have
also, I watched the episode again just out of curiosity.
It actually
doesn't. It was 80-yard in, so there's a non-zero chance that they picked a different date
originally,
like when they did like the line read, and that they overdubbed it when the thing happened, which is very funny to me.
Yeah, but yeah, so that is like, yeah, if the hand-fisted. Increasing amount of bland commentary. There was always commentary in this show, but the hand-fisted, in your face, do you get it political commentary for 2 seasons, I believe now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all started to go downhill when they basically, you know, with Homelander emulated Trump saying, like, I could shoot a person in the street and everyone would cheer.
Yeah, then it... Yeah. I mean, this was, I believe, around the time where right-leaning people were then like, they ruined the show, they went anti-right. And I'm like, Guys,
You did
have
realize
you
that
watched the
Homelander
first
was not.
two? Yes. You were not supposed to sympathize with him.
And
Hashtag
breaking news,
media.
folks, you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to relate to the Joker in the movie Joker either.
Oh, it's like
More at 11.
you can see where the entire media literature memes come from. It's really like, and this is my standing theory that the showrunners were like, whoa, there are some people who didn't get it. We need to make it so obvious and rub it in that they are now alienating people who actually agreed with their original stands and are like, oh guys, it's painful.
The worst part is that there is a way to handle
also, why
that
do we have still Mark on screen?
Mark is our feelings towards this.
Yeah, he emulates it pretty. Oh no! When I look for the boys, I get a boy band for some reason. A K-pop band.
Okay, let's put them up, and we'll just pretend they're all Homelander.
Oh,
so like.
Oh, I was so convinced that the show The Boys is spelled with a Z because edgy. But no, if you spell The Boys with a Z, this is what you get.
I mean, look, there's Homelander in the back with the blonde hair. God, but no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, there is a way to tackle that kind of problem though, of like, oh, you find out that a lot of your audience is actually like relating and sympathizing and interpreting this character as what they do is okay. Because that's what happened with BoJack. Like, a good part of the second to last season was them acknowledging, like, with the whole Filbert thing, being like, people are not supposed to, like, sympathize with Filbert because they, that kind of thing. And, like, they directly pointed out the amount of people that are like, oh, BoJack's not actually that fucked up. I relate to him. He's like me. That means that I'm okay, kind of thing. There's a way to handle that well, but I mean, there's only one BoJack Horseman in the universe, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes, turn on the spoiler thing. I have thoughts about the finale.
Yeah. Okay, let's go there. Woohoo!
The finale made me angry. I literally was saying when we were watching the last like 2 episodes, being like, I just want there to be forward progress. I just want there to be forward progress. And then when we were done, when the episode ended, Max was like, you called it again, Chrissy. And I'm like, because everything gets reversed back to square one. And that's one of my
they have a potential powerful ally. She gets killed. They have
Oh, yeah, I fucking hate Butcher now. And I know it's probably the point to hate Butcher, but I don't hate
At the end of the comics, he becomes the ultimate villain. Spoilers, but I don't care about the comics. They are shit.
But the thing is like, I don't hate Butcher in the he is now a villain way. I hate him because he's written so badly now.
Yeah, he's literally doing achieving the opposite of what he wants. No, there is the entire you become what you hate kind of thing, or there is like you literally actively supporting the people you hate, which he's doing.
Yeah, and the thing is that like, I mean, he has a brain worm in him. He's RFK Jr.ing it at this point now, but like, it could work. But the biggest thing is that his whole relationship with Ryan, he knows how powerful this kid is. And everything. He knows because a huge part of him having to go through an arc of forgiving Ryan and everything was when Ryan, burnt the mom and stuff. Like it. So when he kills Mallory or whatever her name is, it should not have been as shocking as it fucking is that you are cornering a very superpowered, hormone-ridden kid who's obviously traumatized, and then that happens, and that's your last straw? That's your 13th reason? It's so stupid. Like, he goes at a drop of a dime, and they want to frame it as this, like, super interesting, this is your subconscious talking, you've always felt this way kind of way. And it's like there's no moments, especially in the most recent seasons, where he starts to feel waning feelings about the people in his life. Like there's no organicness to it. He just kind of stops giving a shit about people, like, immediately.
Not to mention that, since we are in spoilers, he starts out having hallucinations of his dead wife, who is basically his shoulder angel. So, but this hallucination of his wife is just as much of an of a manifestation of his subconscious as the dude.
Yeah.
So
and she only appears for like 2 episodes.
Yeah, and the moment the dude comes in, he is like, and he figures out that the dude is a manifestation of his mind, of his subconscious. The dude is like, but I am you, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, but she is also you. But yeah, she literally doesn't appear after that point anymore. It's like,
and I'll give credit where credit is due. They did a pretty good job at incorporating this imaginary friend. There's no other way to fucking put it. Mm-hmm. Where I mean, I called it, but I'm also big-brained. But like, when it happened, Max was like, "Oh, you were right," and I was like, "Yeah." But it was good setup stuff. Even though some of the flashbacks with them gone reminded me of the Clone High episode where Gandhi becomes a trucker and then it finds out the trucker's a ghost and he's just been by himself the whole time. And it's just like, it's a silly concept when you actually think about it. But the thing is just there's no forward momentum. Also, fuck the entire Frenchie plot this season. What a waste of like half of the episode's B plots. It's just like, we spent so much time of Kimiko and Frenchie growing a relationship, and now he's suddenly fucking a dude whose family he killed? What? When did this occur? Why of all the fucking families of the things that you killed, this guy pops up, and you are not trying to get the hell out of Dodge? Like... And that, him going through this whole thing of I should face consequences for my actions and all this stuff. It's like, shut up. The only 2 characters in this entire season that felt like they actually went through an arc and everything, and it felt like good, was Huey and like, and because Starlight is insufferable this season too, and because I think they're trying to go for a thing where she's recognizing the privilege that she has and stuff, because there's a lot of savior complex with her. I fucking hate the alt-right firecracker girl. Her actress does a fantastic job at being a very slappable person. I absolutely hate. Okay, 3 characters. A-Train actually had a really good arc this season. But I hate that, like, I could say that the moments of the show that I actually was like, this, I'm having a decent time, is with the Deep. I don't want to like the Deep. And his entire like tryst with the Sigourney Weaver or something. No, Tilda Swinton, the Tilda Swinton octopus. There's so much in this where I'm like, you are just becoming the comic.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the show's gonna end with Huey killing
Butcher.
They're going to do that. That's what it feels like they're going to do. Unless, like, the super cancer in his brain kills himself. Yeah. Like, because, like, it's so dumb. And I love how they were like, we need to put Gen V, which was a really good show. And we're getting another season. It is a good show. And it gets mentioned for all of 2 minutes with, like, a collective 5-minute cameo with 2 of the Guardians of Godolkin characters. It's just like that, and they only brought it up so they can use the bullshit tactical hypnosis thing at the end. Fuck you. I do like this show. There's like a whole episode with Homelander going back to where he was raised.
Oh,
that is one.
But
episode.
But it was interspliced with some really, really frustrating parts. I remember.
Oh, wasn't
but
I think it was in? Was it interspliced with the fucking abortion plot?
Probably,
thing?
yeah.
But yeah, no. But the Homelander's great in this season. I hate that. That's one of my biggest compliments, but he actually is very fascinating in this season.
Also, should I go back to regular?
We can go back to it, but yeah.
I mean, to point out that. Oh, wrong button. To point out that Homelander is still keeping it.
This is like the one improvement they've made, because Homelander feels less like a Trump XP in this fucking season, because they're not like, oh, he's doing superheroified actions. He's actually having like a whole arc about getting older, his legacy, and all this stuff around it, and how he's surrounded by yes men. And his entire relationship with the one good character that entered this season, which is Sister Sage. Sister Sage is a fantastic character.
Is she in the comics?
I don't know. But yeah, I also have a theory, and this is not like a spoiler for the show, because this is just something that happened in the comics.
Ah, shit, she was. But then again,
I think there's going to be soup zombies. It was one of the dumbest things in the comics.
Which also didn't go anywhere, by the way.
I know, but I could imagine this show would try to make it go somewhere, because they're trying to do this entire fucking plague arc, which happened in Gen V, so that's not a spoiler. And I'm just kind of like, what's the way that sending a plague can go wrong? Make it undead people. But yeah, no, there's some parts of The Boys that is still some of the best writing in like the past year of television. And then there's the rest of it, which is just fascinating. Fascinating. Go watch Invincible.
Wait. The Sage person I found is actually an X-Men character.
Okay.
So it's a Marvel character, not a Boys character. I explicitly looked for the boy. Anyways.
Yeah, so... also, this is not a spoiler, but like, the character Tech Knight, he gets tortured in one of the funniest fucking ways in the episode. That was political commentary done right.
Oh, yeah.
And that was actually fantastic. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm done looking at Anthony Starr's face.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And I guess let's look at your own face.
Doc is back, everyone.
Yeah.
I was streaming one of my childhood favorite games, and Doc made a little fan art of me. It's very cute. I'm happy about it. Though that stream was fun because emulating old games on a modern desktop is the worst thing ever. And there was a moment where I accidentally did a character move, and the music sting that plays when the character is in that like formation wouldn't turn off.
Oh no.
And it was just, and then like I had to go in that formation again and again to do the mission, and it kept stacking on top of each other. And then we were like, okay, when we finally go back to the overworld, it'll fix itself, right? It did not.
Oh,
Luckily,
no.
that it was near the end of the stream, but you just kept hearing, and now imagine that looped and layered on top of each other. It was like Sonic Adventure 2 in terms of overstimulating music and sound effects. And it was a blast.
But yeah, so what is this art style? Because it looks familiar to me.
It's Ed and Eddie. It's Ed and Eddie.
Oh, that's why it looks familiar. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little Ed kid. So that was great. Chat, guess how many? Oh, fuck off. Okay, during the stream, I had to just share my desktop window, my whole desktop screen for a second while I was trying to troubleshoot why the game wasn't playing audio, and everyone got a glimpse at my desktop screen, and I was bullied for a good 15 minutes. Because everyone says my desktop looks awful.
Oh my!
Well, okay. Look, I'll send you a screenshot of my desktop.
I mean,
I
I
think
probably saw it before.
I know, but chat could see your reaction. Do you think this is that bad once it loads?
It's one layer, isn't it?
It'd be yes.
I have seen desktops where they were stacked.
Okay. See, guys, I'm not the worst. I'm not good, but I'm not the worst.
I mean, to describe it to the people who are not seeing it, it is basically an almost full pattern. Like the grid is almost full. It seems like you could probably squeeze one or two more rows on the right. And they're the true mysterious ones where there are gaps in the grid. Where it's like, okay, something was at some point installed with a desktop shortcut, but Chrissy was like, fuck you, you are out. There's an entire... like 2/3 in, there is an entire column where only 4 survivors are, and like okay, it's like 9 of them are in total, so only 5 deleted. So there are 5 that disappeared. There's a story there. Why are there 5 like aligned like that, and all of them got like destroyed around the same time?
I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment rights to not incriminate myself.
Uh-huh.
Nah, it was mostly just like references to art, and the thing is that before I stream, if I have art references, pose references and stuff, I'm usually like, I don't want the like maybe slight pixel of a boob to get me banned. Because to me, it's just reference material. But to the internet, who knows? I mean, to be honest, there are things on this desktop that were images for videos that are like years upon years old. Like, I think there's a picture of David Attenborough on my desktop that was for a Pokemon Snap video I edited back in like 2019. It's just that I'm lazy. Like, I'm just kind of like, it's just there. If I install something and it says, hey, you want to make a desktop shortcut for it? I'm like, sure, why not? And then I never use the desktop shortcuts.
Welp.
Which is very funny. On my laptop, I have 4 icons, which is Google Chrome, Premiere, Photoshop, Phasmophobia, and that's it. And honestly, most people were bullying me because they were like, you have such a pretty desktop background and you cover it with so many fucking icons. And it's like... I mean, yeah, that I will admit my guilt on. But that's why I have a second screen. The second screen has no icons on it. So I could just see the pretty artwork that Lauren made of all of us.
Huzzah.
So it works. But yes, that was the art and bully of the week.
Indeed.
Now time for questions.
Indeed.
From Blue Sky.
From Blue Sky, since we didn't get anything on the Corpse platform. So much. There's a trend going on right now, which has like basically a dead blue bird out of which butterflies arise. So some of them not too macabre. Some of them are nice to look at. Some of them are like, oh, gross, stop it. But yeah, just to mention it, there's a fun meme going on. Anyways, J-Rock from the Blue Skies asks, would you rather eat 5 extremely green bananas, green enough that the peel breaks off instead of peeling, or eat 5 extremely overripe bananas with an entirely brown peel and the actual fruit all brown and mushy?
Oh,
I know it's a good would you rather because it's not an easy one.
It's a good would you rather. I'm actually surprised at how good it is, given that it is a very mundane, non-fantastical thing.
Yeah. I assume the investment in the would you rather book is still paying off.
And I guess like I guess we can't use the loophole of using the ripe bananas to make banana bread, because this would actually make the situation a lot more palpable. We just have to raw dog bananas.
Yeah. Also a more fitting gift for the Q&A than actually stressful would you rathers.
The perfect gift.
I know, right?
But
it just says eat. It doesn't specify if you're allowed to prepare them in a way before or not. That is true.
That is true. We have to make it harder. I'm going to say that we can't. It has to be just the fruit. We can't prepare them. Here's the thing, because I have eaten unripe bananas and I have eaten overly ripe bananas. The flavor profile of an overtly ripe banana is so much more pungent, because it has like a weird sour taste to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's tangy, and I don't want tang from my banana. That is not the flavor that goes there.
Also, Wolfhead did acknowledge and recognize your one-liner you just dropped.
Of course. Put it on my epitaph. But but yeah. I guess I'm going to go with the green bananas, because you know what? If anything, they're just kind of bland. The hardest thing about them is just their texture, because it's not exactly soft. But, whatever. I'm going to stop where I start, because I realize that me talking about the hardness and softness of a banana can get very incriminating very fast.
Well, we are on YouTube. Clipping is not that easy or convenient of a feature anymore. Or did they add it at some point?
I don't put it aside, Mr. Wolfhead Brony, to not have OBS open while we're recording to be like, I'm waiting for the moment. Here it comes.
Yeah,
she's opening her yap.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfhead needs to build up a new backlog of funny edited clips now that he completely switched platforms. So
exactly. And until he reposts "You paid to be here," he needs another funny thing from us. Stop smiling like that. No, but I'm gonna go with the green.
You paid to be here is still iconic.
It is very
also
iconic.
Just Yuri, usually stoic Yuri, just losing it and laughing.
Breaking. What a defining moment in this show and in our lives.
But yeah.
But I'm gonna go with green bananas. What about you?
Here's the thing that overripe bananas. They very. I can eat them. I have eaten them more than underripe ones, I guess, because with overripe bananas, you are at the point where I either need to eat it now or I have to throw it out, and I don't like throwing out food. While with underripe bananas, it's like, just wait a little bit longer and they will be better. So, so out of
eating
necessity,
5 of them.
5. Oh yeah.
That's also the thing. You have to eat these, I'm assuming, in a row. And it's not rotten.
No, but it's
getting close.
And and I mean, if they are already brown, this means they are also very mushy, and that is a texture that I'm not too fond of. I also have to go with the green ones. No contrarians here today.
Yeah, the hardest thing about this was just the fact that I had to go in my head and be like, when was the last time I ate just a banana without putting it in something? Because I usually use bananas.
The clipping community is having such a blast with this entire episode.
Shut up! I'm just saying I usually put bananas in protein shakes and smoothies because it's the perfect fruit for it.
Okay, that is very hard to misinterpret.
Exactly. I don't know what kind of euphemism you can get from smoothies and protein shakes, guys. Have fun. I think it says more about you than me.
At this point, yes.
Yes. Okay, so questions on the Discord. Whoop. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, wow. We have so few. We could actually get them all.
Yeah, so I do want to just shout out Fidel here. who did not say a question. It was just a statement of, okay, wait, hold on. I got so used to them not doing the podcast every week that the one time they are, I didn't even know and was not ready for it. What the fuck? We sincerely apologize, Fidel.
Yeah,
Life is busy, and it's the holiday season. You gotta get used to it.
But it is like, no, it is episode 19 of a weekly show, episode 19 in mid-November, and we only have like 2 or so episodes left, I believe.
I feel like we shouldn't call it a weekly show.
Not anymore.
I stopped calling Three Idiots a monthly show. It is a show.
But yeah, we have the 8th and
I
the
want
15th.
to do it more.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to say this. I want to do it more often in 2025. Life just got busy. Like, come on. Like, I'm a very busy lady, and life gets busy. And also, it's kind of like the thing of, I don't want to force the energy to do the show. If I don't think I'm going to be able to have the energy to put on a good show, I'm not going to fucking do it. You know, you guys deserve better than me half-assing it. and you
guys deserve, yeah.
You deserve me not half-assing it, or otherwise, you deserve me having the energy where I can half-ass it and it looks like I'm giving a full ass. Like, because you know.
I was about to say, you deserve not having to watch me carry the show.
Yes, you know, I messaged Max today being like, you may have to carry the show. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. But then as soon as the show turns on, it's like, whoop! So be grateful. Be grateful that for some reason this show it has a little switch implanted in my head. But no, the actual questions, quote unquote.
Oh, or does it happen to be an answer? Oh, wait, no.
It happens to be an answer. And this one actually has Charlie, or Cabinet Assembly, did it correctly with he put what the question is under a spoiler tag.
Okay, so we can find out if we are right or wrong.
He also has 2 questions, but we're going to do the answer one first. Ask Awkward. My answer is a big goat or a small horse.
A big goat or a small horse? A big goat or a small horse? Maybe something down the lines of what would be the most epic mount you want to see, or what is a big goat or a small horse? So we are talking about an animal, like, I mean, a small horse is called a pony, just FYI, this PSA is for you. But yeah, I basically maybe a mount, an epic mount for a vertically challenged person.
I mean, that also gives if that's your idea for the question, then you are implying that Odie is a very small, a very short king. Given that a small horse or a big goat. I think that is also the thing of, like, they're kind of power scaling the animals, that they need to have a qualifier of their size. So, like, I think, like, an animal you can survive fighting with or getting attacked by.
I mean, we don't even know if the question involves the askee at all. It could just really be a general question, like, not what animal can you defeat, or what animal can you outrun. But I would still say that the horse is still designed to be very fast, so even if it's small, it will probably still be able to outrun you.
That is true. That is true. I didn't think about that. Maybe it's like, what is the most hear me out persona type, like, for them, where it's like, okay, maybe I can fuck with a persona that's like a big goat girl, or maybe a small horse one, which is just a pony. Just say pony. I know you don't want, every time you say pony, you get like that Akira flashback thing, but it's a pony. But
it's a story. It is
It's just it's just Toriel, yeah. But no, I think it could be a hear me out answer.
I stick with mine. I stick with it's that it's potentially about a mount or something that you can ride, because what else is...
I mean, by all technicality, mine is also about a thing you can
Ah.
But I guess in some cases it rides you.
You want to get ahead of the banana crowd.
Yes, exactly. It's not fun when I do it. Like, I'm taking the power away.
Should we reveal it?
Yes.
What was the question?
The question was...
What's the biggest animal you could take in a hand-to-hand combat? Nope.
I was closer.
Yeah, you were closer.
You moved me away from my question.
But why so specifically rideable animals?
I think I don't think they were thinking about the rideability
you could do
of the animal, and you were overthinking that particular detail about these creatures. But okay, I guess we also need to answer the question: what's the biggest animal you think you could take in hand-to-hand combat?
A medium-sized, what are they called? Capybara.
Because the capybara is not going to fight back. It's just going to stand there.
But don't make it too big, so it's not too hard to win. So that's why it's a medium-sized capybara.
See, my first answer was going to be a manatee, because those things are huge and they won't fight back. But I also don't think in my heart of hearts I could fuck with a manatee, because they're just sweet little sea cows.
I big-brained it.
Okay, big brain.
Okay, the biggest animal I could defeat in a hand-to-hand combat, a whale. Like, I'm talking like, what is the biggest one? Blue whale.
Are you okay, Ishmael? Why do you think you can do that?
Simply, if it comes all the way here, it's already half dead because it's a sea animal.
I'm not giving you clever points, because that would enable you.
Next question?
No, well, I didn't say what mine was.
Oh, sorry.
Wow. Okay. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. The Zodiacs were wrong when they said a dislike of Virgo is taking center stage. Okay. I think the biggest animal I could take in hand-to-hand combat is a 6-foot-tall evolved primate that has a hair loss problem, so it only has hair on certain parts of its body. Of the Middle European type. It's a very rare species. There's only one in the world. There's little like subspecies that are relative to it, but there's only one in the male species of it. I think that one I could take hand to hand.
Yeah, that's a very specific declaration, but okay, I guess.
I mean, it's also because it has such an easy weak point. All I need to do is kick out its knees, and then it's down.
I mean, this describes actually a lot of.
Now, all I need to do is the only thing I need to avoid is that I just need to. They are known to flip people over and break their legs, so I just need to make sure that I can run fast enough.
Arms. I'm pretty sure they broke arms, not legs. This endangered species. It's gonna be endangered when I get to it. All right. So next question. Answer.
This next question is from Cabinet Assembly, and it's an actual question. Okay, this is the problem with me cold reading questions. If you could punch any celebrity in the stomach for free, how far would you run afterwards? What does that mean? Does that, are you asking what celebrity we would need to be most afraid of after punching them in the stomach?
Punch any celebrity in the stomach for free. How far would you run afterwards?
I mean, if I'm punching them and I'm already very emboldened, I don't know if I would run away at that point.
You are allowed to do it for free, so it sounds like it's an A-OK thing to do in the first place.
It sounds like a little frat boy thing where it's I meet like Jason Momoa or something, and he's like, hey, Chrissy, broham pal. This is how Jason Momoa obviously talks. You want to see how you can punch me in the stomach? It won't even hurt. Come on.
Yeah,
And then
you don't even have to
and
run
then I do it.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'll go and
probably have a nice
and then
beer
he'll go and grab a
afterwards,
fish from the sea with his bare hands and drink ale like the Hawaiian Viking that he is.
Yeah, that's look, I didn't want to ask how much would you pay to punch someone twice your age. What? This is also a weird question. Also, why is everybody out to punch me today?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna
First you take me in
reformat.
hand-to-hand combat, and now Odie is, because I am twice as old as most people in this chat.
I suppose, yes, but like, or I guess someone twice your age is more like most celebrities, I guess, are twice your age, which that's not really true. A lot of modern celebrities are only like 10 years older than Max.
There are also a lot of modern celebrities that are 20 years younger than me. Which would mean that they are going to punch me because I'm twice their age.
I mean, I always get
it's a boxing question.
I always feel awful when I realize that Tom Holland's younger than me, and I'm like, no, don't do that. You're not allowed, Spider-Man.
He literally plays high schoolers, so
I don't like it. But like Lauren can play high schooler. She's 30.
That's true. She's only
but like
30. Damn,
she's 30. No. Okay, wait. Brett's 4 years older than her. You are 4 years older than Brett. So
32.
Brett's she's 32. Yes. Yeah. Yes. She's 32. She's been on this planet longer than I've been. But yeah, the points at you. Haha, old. Shut up, Jesse.
I had
because I know Jesse's younger than me as well. So this pointing is at both of us.
So Jesse is one of the people who is going to punch me because I'm twice their age.
Yeah.
Or are you twice their age?
I
mean, if you are twice their age, I'm not sure if Jesse.
I
was about to say, fuck shit, you're not watching this fucking shit show.
Because I am 20. How old am I now? Hey Alexa, how old is someone born in 1997 today?
Somebody born in 1997 would be either 26 or 27 years old.
I'm 27. I keep thinking I'm 28 because birthday's around the corner. It's a wide corner. But like, yeah, so 27, so they would be... Oh, it's an odd number.
13 and a half.
13 and a half, yes. You shouldn't be watching this show if you are 13 and a half.
Even if you're 14, you should not be watching this show.
You should not. You really should not. We are 16 and up at
Anyways,
earliest.
I'm pretty sure we have sufficiently answered this question
on
a level that Odie was expecting from us. So next question.
Totally. Let's see. Okay, we have an answer. And this person consistently does this incorrectly because they don't put what the actual question is. Sailor Ranger Prince, I wonder who you are.
If this is your real name.
Yes, so. Ask Awkward. My answer would be being a morning person. That nice sun beating its rays on you and the activity that generally happens in that time frame is something that can't be contested. And it is a somewhat safer time of day. That last part threw me for a loop of like, why does safety have to come into this?
My answer would be being a morning person. That nice sun beating its rays on you and the activity that generally happens in the time frame is something that can't be contested. And it is a somewhat safer
Thank you, Enigma, for saying I do that on purpose, and now I will continue to do so. That is very Master Shake coded of you, and I respect that. But no, like...
I mean, Barbara, am I right?
Barbara.
Has this song been a thing in America?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, it was covered on Glee of all things back in the day. I knew the song beforehand, mind you. I did not watch Glee. I know, very shocking that the theater kid doesn't watch Glee.
Is
But no,
something that totally did not watch Glee would say.
my entire consumption of Glee was parody videos because that was the big thing then. But like, no, Barbra Streisand was a thing. It was on like
Okay.
so many party CDs.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. But yeah, my answer is my answer would be being a morning person. I guess
I'm
it
gonna
boils
say
down to yeah.
I am going to say, what is the best time? What is the time you would most prefer to go outside, like to go for a walk? Because it's that. Plus, it's somewhat safer that's really getting me. Because I don't think if it's just are you a morning person or a night owl? I don't think you would need to account for safety because you'd be inside basically. So I think it is like what would you rather what like time of day would you rather go out for a walk?
Rays on you into activities. It generally happens in the time frame. Is something you can't be. Yeah, I mean, talking about activity makes it feel like okay. So maybe it's about a specific. Like maybe something more specific than just a walk. My answer would be being a morning person. Still, for your answer to be being a morning person doesn't sound like when would you prefer to take a walk? My answer would be being a morning person. Those don't fit completely.
That's true because the only other thing I could think of is like, when would you rather do activities on like a vacation or something? Would you rather experience the nightlife or do things during the day?
But being
And even then, the being a morning person, that and the very beginning and the very end are throwing me off. Why is safety a factor here? Or is this just an unnecessary detail Enigma is adding to screw me up?
Maybe. So it might just be morning person or night owl. My answer would be a morning person because this and this and this. If there would be a because in between.
Yeah. Enigma's not the type, though, to usually pick such simple questions.
Do you just notice something? We are pondering deeply about the question asked by an enigma.
That's why he doesn't give it. It's all how you two think of it. I just supply the answer. Well, make the answer make sense. To jail.
Well
all
then.
Right. I think we questioned.
We will never answer or question anything else from you. So to the last one, what do we have and from whom?
From Prince Ranger Sailor.
No,
person.
proven wrong immediately. How could this happen to me?
I know, crazy. Ask Awkward. Time to answer a difficult and introspective question. Which of these two options, in your opinion, is more expressive and creative and meaningful to you? Music or art?
I assume
music is art.
So
what are you talking?
We're probably talking about visual arts.
Versus
drawings.
like music, because I was gonna say this is every beagle is a dog, but not all dogs are beagles scenario.
But I guess we can understand exactly graphic art.
Yeah. Okay. So visual versus auditory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, the answer is really simple.
Okay.
I think it's visual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because music, while there is very experimental types of music, to the point that some people argue if some things should be counted as music, they follow a very finite set of fundamentals. There are only so many sounds in the universe, kind of thing. Visual art, by the sheer principle of randomness, I think like there is just factually more ways that things can be unique and make new things. Like, it's like snowflakes. There is not a single there's always going to be unique crystalline structures. Let's take a fucking Jackson Pollock painting or something, throwing paint onto the canvas. That can never be 100% perfectly duplicated, that kind of thing. I feel like there is more expressive qualities in visual art. I feel like you see more derivativeness in music when you actually look. I mean, that's why we literally have something called pop song chords. Like, there is
Funny enough, I agree with your answer, but not with your argument.
Yeah,
because all the things that you describe to give to graphic art to declare it superior, I would say like, okay, what you describe is like elements of the foundational elements are pretty limited in music, but so they are in visual art. What makes it stand out is the composition. Now it is for us how it works. Music works through the fourth dimension. You have to listen to it ongoingly, so to grasp the entire composition, while a drawing exists in that moment as a full thing, and then you can just work yourself through it with your eyes. So that makes the experience more like with a drawing, it's a one impression that comes in and then you can process it, while music is an ongoing impression. But at the end of the day, they both have, if you want to break it down and be like, oh, there are certain chords that sound nice, but there are also those musics where a guy just plays a violin backwards and this sound or hits it, and this can also not be as perfectly reproduced, and it only exists in this one recording. So
I suppose it's a very abstract concept I'm trying to describe, so I'm trying to figure out how to say it. To me, I just think with music, and this is coming from someone who is a musician,
but also an artist, so you can actually talk with authority on both cases. I can't.
Yes, but as someone who was taught, playing instruments and music and went to competitions and stuff for music and this kind of stuff, who has composed music, I just feel like you have a more sets. I feel like there's more objectivity in music than there is in art. And in a way, I think like, yes, there is also certain objectivities in art, like how is the anatomy in this piece, and then you can go to the subjective of the rules that they broke. Does it look cool? The rule of cool. But I just do feel like music, especially since music can be brought down to its core in much more like scientific ways, because everything in music is just sound waves, how you hit certain things, the pressure and everything that goes in it. I feel, and there's a whole science and math of music.
But you are very specifically talking about composed music. Hold this against jazz.
Jazz isn't real. No, I mean, yes, I suppose. I mean, this is actually just a hard question because there are people who have ethereal experiences listening to music, and for me, it is actually and it's why I'm struggling with this, because I tend to imagine music and the visuals with music so interconnected, because I was raised in the music video generation. I was conditioned to always imagine visuals with music, so it is very hard to separate them for me, kind of thing. But I think the fact that there is more arguments of what is art, and because you could see people throw paint on a bucket of paint on a canvas, and you see some people who can find really deep meaning, and then some people who just think you made a mess. And I feel like that kind of discourse is part of the crux of expression. Meanwhile, there's more instinctual things with music and noise and sound because, we're monkey brained, where it's like if something sounds bad or something invokes like a certain frequency, it's a generally agreed thing of, ooh, I don't like that. At least that's how I view it based off how I observe things. But yeah, I'm going to pick visual art.
The funny thing is, my initial feeling was also more visual art. I was leaning more towards visual art. But I didn't. I would have had a hard time to express the why. But the more you
tell me about it.
brought arguments, and the more I also tried to come up with arguments myself, I was like, no, I can always find the parallels in both of them. Né? The mathematical structure, there's stuff like the golden circle or whatever it's called in art, which we all consider aesthetically pleasing. Now then you talk about certain tones are generally experienced as aesthetically pleasing. There we have another parallel. So
music and art is all because music is art, is all psychological, so it's so hard to separate what is more expressive.
Yeah. I dare, but then again, you can then think like sometimes you just hear certain songs and just the melody gets to you and you get all teary eyes and shit. But then again, you can look at a piece of art and it has the same effect. So, I dare to say, I have to go for the cop art. From my personal experience, graphical art speaks more to me, because I am more of a visual person. I don't have this good of a distinct hearing. But that's not my opinion about what is generally, what can be generally more creative, expressive, and or meaningful. It's more that this is my personal preference as a receptor. But yeah.
Which is what art is. You know what? I think Enigma did this on purpose. I think that he wanted us to divide the types of art by having to choose between the two. Why do we need to choose? Why can't they combine? So, you know what? My answer isn't music, and my answer isn't art. I'm picking or. Or was another word in that question. I'm picking or.
Well, that's awkward.
Ayn Wye and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. Artwork and analysis, which you do